Do you believe in ghosts? It's a simple question, but the answer isn't so simple. Many people say no. They laugh. They think it's all make-believe. Stories for campfires. But I'm here to tell you something different. I'm here to show you proof. This isn't a collection of fairy tales. This is a journey into the darkest corners of our world. A world that exists just beyond our sight. We have spent years gathering evidence. We have faced entities that want to harm us. We have captured moments that defy all logic. And now, I'm sharing them with you. This is your chance to see what we see. I need to ask you something before we begin. Are you sure you want to do this? Once you see these things, you can't unsee them. Once you open this door, you might not be able to close it again. The images and stories you are about to encounter are real. They are raw. They are unfiltered. They have been documented, analyzed, and they still leave us with more questions than answers. The investigation starts now. Let's talk about dolls. They're supposed to be for children, innocent toys. But some dolls are not innocent. Some are vessels. They hold attachments. Dark energies cling to them like a second skin. We investigated a family in rural Ohio who owned such a doll. Her name was Lily. She was an antique porcelain doll with cracked paint and glass eyes that seemed to follow you. The family claimed she moved on her own. They would put her on a shelf in the living room, only to find her sitting in a rocking chair in the nursery hours later. They were terrified. They called us for help. We set up cameras, ready to debunk their claims. The first night of the investigation was quiet. Almost too quiet. We sat in the dark, our equipment humming. We asked questions into the silence, hoping for a response. But then, it happened. On the night vision camera pointed directly at Lily, we saw it. Her head, which was facing forward, slowly, deliberately turned to the left. It was a small movement, but it was undeniable. There were no strings, no vibrations in the house. It was pure, unexplained paranormal activity. Abandoned hospitals and asylums are hotspots for paranormal activity. Think about the pain, the suffering, the raw emotion that soaks into the very walls of these places. We investigated the abandoned Penhurst State School and Hospital, a place with a dark and tragic history. The moment you step inside, you feel it. A heavy, oppressive energy that suffocates you. The hallways are long and dark, littered with decaying medical equipment, the ghosts of former patients. We were there to document the infamous shadow figures that are said to roam the corridors, and we were not disappointed. This is a place where the veil between our world and the next is paper thin. We set up a static camera at the end of a long hallway in the Mayflower building, known for its intense activity. For hours, we saw nothing but dust floating in our flashlight beams. Then, our EMF meters started screaming. The temperature plummeted. We felt that unmistakable feeling of being watched. That's when it appeared. From a doorway on the left, a tall, dark figure emerged. It wasn't a shadow cast by anything. It was a solid three-dimensional mass of blackness, shaped like a person. It stood there for a moment, as if observing us, before gliding silently across the hall and disappearing into the wall on the other side. The witching hour, 3 a.m., is a time when paranormal activity is said to be at its peak. It's a time when the barrier between worlds is at its weakest. A young couple from Illinois learned this in the most terrifying way possible. They contacted us after a series of bizarre and frightening events, all centered around their phone. It started with strange noises on the line, whispers, static. Then came the phone calls. Every night at exactly 3:03 a.m., their landline would ring. When they answered, all they heard was silence, then a guttural, inhuman growl before the line went dead. They were losing their minds with fear. They decided to document it. One night, they set up a camera, pointed it at the phone, and waited. As the clock ticked past 3 a.m., the tension was, honestly, just unbearable. Then, right on schedule, the phone rang. The man answered, putting it on speaker for the camera to record. The familiar silence filled the air. He asked, "Who is this?" For a few seconds, there was nothing. Then, a voice came through the speaker. It was distorted, demonic. It whispered his wife's name. The couple screamed. Mirrors have long been considered portals to the spirit world. They reflect our world, but what else might they be reflecting? A woman in England discovered the terrifying truth when she was taking a selfie in her antique mirror. She didn't notice anything at first. It was only when she looked at the photo later that her blood ran cold. In the reflection, standing right behind her, was the faint but clear image of an old woman. Hollow eyes, a gaunt face. She was alone in the house. There was no one behind her. The mirror had reflected someone who wasn't there. Then we have the viral TikTok glitch that terrified millions. A user was filming a dance video in her apartment. In the middle of the video, she moves past a darkened doorway behind her. The app's facial recognition filter suddenly activates. It places a distorted, smiling filter not on her face, but on an empty spot in the dark hallway. For a split second, the filter maps a face where there is no face. The creator was horrified when she rewatched the video. Her phone's technology had detected a human-like presence that was completely invisible to the naked eye. This digital ghost has been seen by millions, a modern-day haunting for the social media age. Finally, there's the case of the haunted elevator. We've reached the end of our journey. You've seen the evidence, the doll that moves on its own, the shadow figure in the asylum, the demonic voice on the phone, the ghostly reflection, the digital phantom. Each story, each piece of footage is a crack in the wall of skepticism. These are not just stories. They are documented encounters that challenge our understanding of life, death, and what comes next. If you made it this far without looking away, then you have taken the first step into a larger world. You have stared into the abyss, and you've seen that something is staring back. But I must give you one final warning. Reading about these things, opening your mind to them, can be an invitation. You have acknowledged their existence. Now they may acknowledge yours. You might notice things you didn't before, a flicker in your peripheral vision, a whisper on the wind, a cold spot in a warm room. Don't be afraid. The spirits have always been here. You are just now learning to see them. Welcome to the other side.